So that's kind of what I'm gonna play around with today. It's utilizing this Summit as a filter bank instead of as a synth. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. 15-20 years ago I used to dream of having this Murf from Moog, and it's kind of a lot of money for a one-trick pony, especially as these synthesizers can actually do what I want from a Murf, utilize my Fumana for or any other of my filter banks really. So the difference though, if we're looking at the Fumana, is that the Fumana has steep bandpass filters, while with the Summit here we do have 12 decibel per octave steepness of both sides of the filter. But we do have the possibility to change into a dual setting where we can kind of move around the frequency of a high pass and low pass filter to make it slimmer than the main bandpass filter implementation is. So to start with, I'm gonna run a sequence just kind of going through the keys here. This setup I'm using is I have turned down the oscillators and turned on the input signals into the Summit. This is done pre-filter, so I can run any signal into the filter. And then I have an amp envelope where I've set it to velocity responsive, and I also turned up modulation. So with high velocity we do get a very snappy attack, and with lower velocities we do get a slow attack. And I also do have the FX section where I set up the delay to be in sync with the midi. And then I tuned the filter to the frequency of the note being put in. So turned on self-oscillation and turned it up until I got the correct key. And the great thing about the Summit is that it tracks really well, being an analog filter, but so I don't really need to adjust it a lot to keep the effect. So just for you to hear the signal we're gonna put in here, I'm gonna put down C just without any filters going. So it will be pure sawtooth from the Moog Muse, and I'm gonna put that on home here and switch back. Now I'm gonna turn on a sequence running from low notes up to higher notes and back again. So basically utilizing different voices to simulate a bandpass sweep in a sense. And you can hear how it's kind of ringing with the decay. So if we turn up the sustain and release, and the same with the attack, we can get a bit smoother effect out of it. So I do have this random sequence now where I have random velocities and random notes spread out over quite a wide array, meaning that it will trigger sometimes in parallel, sometimes alone. So we get a sequenced filter bank, kind of Murf type effect, but up to 16 voices at the same time. So it's running quite slow, and we can and then if we start to play around with notes, it's getting much more. So that is kind of a cool step to filter bank effect already now. And with the Summit, we can of course play around with the modulating with the LFOs to filter, or even having oscillator tree doing filter mods and stuff. So if I playing with the amp envelope is making it very interesting if we just as you kind of can hear, there's a lot of nice variation where any simple sound can really drive some really interesting sounds with this setup. So I would suggest you to take any synth with an external input that is able to route stuff through the filters, preferably a polysynth then, and actually play around with this, because it kind of makes it fun and a very modular approach to how we can actually utilize our home studios and hardware. And this is what makes it fun with hardware, in my opinion. Hope you enjoyed it.